You're listening to Lore Friendly. I'm your host, Chris Takahashi, and with me, as always, actor, doctor, and Jedi Knight, Alice Bell. How you doing?
Knackered, basically.
Why not good?
Because I've started work on my dissertation, and
Well, isn't that supposed to be fun? It's what you want to do.
it is what I want to do, but at the same time, I didn't realise how time-consuming it would be to translate Old English poetry.
You didn't realize there'd be actual work involved.
No, I didn't. Like, I read this story last year about this lad who got a 2-1 and he did, like, all his dissertation work in one evening. And I was like, I wanted to do that. But translating poetry takes time.
You just need Adderall.
Oh, yeah. I spent 6 hours so far on this one poem, and I still have 50 lines left to translate.
God. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's never going to be like the stuff necessarily that you like, because it's a course and they assign you specific poems, and some you might like and some you might hate. I'm assuming.
No, I chose the poems myself.
Oh,
yeah,
you chose it
it's
yourself.
great.
Okay,
I
forget everything I just said.
I chose like the topic and everything, and one of the poems I'm doing, it's called a Saint's Life poem, and it's about Saint Andreas, and it's so casual about how it talks about cannibalism.
Oh, okay.
Like basically, Saint Andreas or God or someone kills these guards, and like for this tribe of cannibals. And a literal quote from the translation that I've been reading said, they couldn't think of anything better to do, so they ate the bodies. So it's like, okay, well, cannibalism now, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like basically they're just trying to figure out where to eat, and why don't we just eat in? Why don't we just eat Jeffrey over there?
Don't have to go searching for any God-ordained saints.
Well, see, then you have no one to blame but yourself, though, because you chose these poems, and now you're bitching about doing the work.
Yeah, but
that's not good.
That's my whole thing. Like, I complain about my lot in life, and when I get a chance to change it, I complain anyway, because I don't like change.
First world problems.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't been watching much TV, I assume?
Next joke.
Because there's a lot of good shows, like we were talking about this off-air. There's this show I like, which is The Nick. And it's basically just a bunch of doctors on drugs and on cocaine.
Which is my kind of show.
It's just like, we need to anesthetize the patient. And it's like, give him cocaine. It's like, I need to concentrate on my experiments. Like, oh, and here's some cocaine. And then in the end, he needs to recover from his cocaine addiction. So what do they give him? They give him heroin. And that's basically the entire plot.
That sounds great. I actually really want to watch that. Sounds better than Once Upon a Time, which I started watching Once Upon a Time just before exam season, and I've been stuck in the middle of season 4 since May, and I just can't get past it because it's just so.
But you're already invested in the show, so you have to watch it to the end.
Yeah, I feel like I can't go back and re-watch or anything until I finish watching it. I had a similar issue with Buffy last year, but I actually powered through Buffy.
Yeah, it is kind of true that these people, I mean, they're dependent on you to exist because they need your ratings. So in a way, if you stop watching, you're basically killing them.
Yeah, but I'm only watching it on Netflix.
Oh. Well, I'm sure Netflix keeps track of those numbers.
Yeah, but it's just so much effort. Like, the storyline's just gone to shit, like, because it's, Once Upon a Time's like a 24 episode series.
Oh.
And it just loses steam. Like, it has one plot thread, and it comes to the end of that, and you get a big climax at episode, like, 12 or 13, as you do in most TV shows. And then they start up a whole other plot line instead of just finishing the season there.
Don't they have a lot of material to sift through, though, if it's fairy tales and stuff like that?
Yeah, and they did a really good job of it in, like, seasons 1 and 2. But it's
dragging
just
on
getting...
now at season 3.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they've got Cruella de Vil now. And she's not even a fairy tale character.
Yeah, and you should be able to... I mean, there's a lot of content. You don't even have to depend on American or classic Western fairy tales. You can go with East Asian or Nordic or stuff like that.
Well, you have the Fables series, which is absolutely amazing, like the comic book series. And I could just read that, and it's the exact same concept. It's fairy tale characters in modern day New York or modern day small town USA.
Yeah. So it's basically like, how are you fucking this up? There's like so much source material.
Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to like, have you seen Fargo? The Fargo TV series?
No, I haven't.
It's basically like the same story regurgitated over and over again, but it's great. It's great. It's really, really good.
Are you
like
sure? That sounds like... Seriously?
No. Trust me. The first season and the second season, it's almost exactly like the movie. Like you have the bumbling wannabe crook who does something bad. You have the actual mafioso type people, like the really evil men. You know, that's a staple of Coen brother movies.
Yeah.
Like the completely evil, like killer guy. And then you have the good, like hardworking cop kind of trope. And it works. It's the exact same thing every.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. I guess part of it is the dialogue is always quirky and the characters are good.
Yeah, see, dialogue can make or break a show.
So yeah, I mean, it goes to show that it doesn't necessarily have to be the source material that has to be good. The performances, the characters, and all of
the
that
writing.
matters. Yeah.
Cough, cough. Game of Thrones. Cough, cough.
Have you been watching Doctor Who at least?
Kind of. I've been watching it, but not really being very invested in it.
Are you all
I
caught
don't
up
like
at
Steve.
least?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I haven't seen this week's episode.
Isn't it written by somebody else now? Not Stephen Moffat?
No, Stephen Moffat's still like the showrunner.
But he's not writing the episodes.
He is writing some episodes, and he's got to like approve of the overall storyline and how characters are characterized.
So it still has a stench on it. It's got that Moffat aftertaste.
Yeah, I miss Russell T Davies. He was cool. Moffat's just slowly been going downhill, and now he's careening downhill.
At this point, he doesn't even give a shit. He's just got his pedal to the metal and is just flying down into that abyss of horribleness.
He does better in shows where he's forced to be a little bit grounded, like Sherlock. Like, Sherlock's an amazing show. But in Doctor Who, he can just use the excuse of wibbly wobbly timey wimey to
some of the stuff is a bit weird. Like the explanations for things are kind of strange, like contradictory.
Oh, that fucking River Song
Oh, that was horrible. I don't even want to talk about it. He ruined
6.
that character. That character could have been...
Yeah, she could have been so good. So good.
And then she turned into just some kind of sultry...
Hello, sweetie.
Yeah, she just turned into some caricature, basically. Yeah, I mean, it would have been great if they had her constantly getting younger as you know, he continued to meet her every time, and every single time she knew less about him, and it would have been great.
Yeah.
And then they finally get to the point where they first meet, and it would, you know.
Yeah.
And then at that point, he knows everything about her, and she knows nothing about him. So it's kind of like this inverse relationship. Like, they just ruined it, basically.
See, the episode where they had that, she's never met him before, was that fucking Let's Go Kill Hitler episode.
Yeah. It took a great idea and just, like, ruined it.
Yeah.
I like this season, though. I like the whole Clara is a Dalek thing. In the first episode, because it made you actually think for once that somebody could actually die.
That would have been a great way for Clara to die. That would have been a great exit. That would have been completely different.
But even though they took the easy way out and let her live, it felt tense because of her history and the way she was introduced into the series. You actually felt like oh shit, they might actually kill her.
Yeah, that would have been like coming full circle. That would have been amazing. And think about how much of a bait and switch that would have been. Like, we know that Jenna Coleman's leaving at the end of this season.
Right.
But if she'd have left in the first episode, that would have been
bonkers.
That would have been a really good way to go, because we wouldn't have been expecting it.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing with watching TV shows now, is that we know that actors, like, we know it gets announced when actors are leaving.
Right.
So we know that they're going to die in some way.
Right. Well, we don't know if she's going to die or just leave, you know, and be happy.
Yeah.
But the chances of her actually dying are really low because, again, that's another risk that usually showrunners aren't willing to take.
Yeah. I don't know.
It makes sense.
I don't like Clara.
She should die. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world for her to die. But are they going to have the balls to do it?
Please do.
Why? Why don't you like Clara?
She's just... It's a woman written by Moffat. They're generally not very good.
Well, in general, Doctor Who, like, the companions have mostly been pretty stale. Other than... That's why my favorite companion has always been was it Catherine Tate?
Yeah.
Donna Noble? Because she actually had a personality. She was actually a human being, where the others just feel like the default stand-in for humanity.
Yeah. Clara's basically like copy and paste Amy, but shorter and less ginger.
Right. Well, at least she's not fawning over the
Yeah.
doctor like Rose and Martha.
I liked it with Rose because, like, she was the first companion of the Revive series, so it wasn't stale and tired and things like that. But it got onto Martha, and Martha, it was quite nice 'cause it was like unrequited, and it enabled both the characters to grow. Catherine Tate was the best friend. They have Amy, who wanted to shag the Doctor, and you had Clara, who wanted to shag Matt Smith's Doctor, and now she doesn't anymore because he's old.
Ageism.
Yeah.
I do feel like there's like a weird dynamic because the Doctor's always like a dude, and I don't know about the old series because I didn't watch it, but in the new Who, he's like this dude, and then he's always bringing along hot companions, and it's a little weird.
Yeah, I want a guy companion next season. So it could just be
seriously.
two bros brosing about in space.
Yeah.
It'd be like Back to the Future, but with Doctor Who instead of just Marty McFly.
Right. Well, Marty and Doc Brown.
Yeah. I'm trying to make a relevant reference, but I've never seen Back to the Future.
What?
Yeah, my dad, like, ripped me a new one when he found out. He was like, Alice, what the hell?
He was ashamed. I raised my daughter to know better than that. But then again, you're basically still a child, right? So.
I'm 20!
Speaking of people who are 20 that look like children, how do you think Maisie Williams did?
That was such a smooth transition. Jesus Christ. She's not even 20. She's like 16, isn't she? No, she's 18.
No, she's 18. I couldn't believe it. I looked it up. I was like, because I'm so used to her being a child. And then they're like, in the last episode, she was a woman. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Whoa. No, she can't be. She's not an adult.
Yes, and she is. She's fully grown. This is going to be what she looks like for the next 40 years. Just kind of crazy.
Well, technically, you don't stop growing until you're 21, which is why I'm still holding out on getting an extra inch to my height.
But like, is it weird that I find the fact that she can change her voice to be more inexplicable than the fact that she's immortal?
Yeah, I think voices are weird because sometimes they just... Yeah.
No, I mean, like, did you see the episode?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. She basically can change her voice into a man's voice. It's really weird.
What?
Yeah.
So, like this, or this, or this.
No. So, like, they dubbed her voice over with a guy's voice.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, so, like...
Why?
So, like, they don't really explain it. It happens for, like, 2 seconds, and it's, like, treated as not a big deal.
How is that not a big deal?
Yes, it's very strange.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so they make her as realistic as possible. Like, her memories are limited. Like, even though she's lived for, like... Because you saw the episode before this one, or...?
Yeah, I saw the episode before.
So she's immortal now, right? So she can live for 600 years, but she has the memories of a normal person. So that's really realistic. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
She's trained her life to be good at things. Like, she's good with the bow, but that's only because she trained at it. Like, it's not like a special power she's gotten. She's worked for everything she's got. But then she can also do a dead-on, like, James Earl Jones impersonation. It's just really strange. I have no idea what they were going for with that. But
I'd like to think that maybe she spent maybe 5 or 6 years coaching her voice just to freak people out every now and again.
Yeah, it's just like this thing she does, like snapping her fingers.
Like, oh, no biggie.
Yeah, it was an odd choice. I wonder if they're going to explain it later, but yeah.
I thought they were only doing 2-parters this season.
You'll see what I mean if you watch the episode.
Oh, okay.
I think Maisie Williams is signed on for a while.
Oh, good. Maybe she'll be more interesting than Clara in River Song. That would be nice. Maybe I'll start watching properly again.
We'll see. It all depends on how much this voice plays into it. It would be really strange
if it's once an episode, I'm in.
Yeah, she starts talking like Darth Vader then. Yeah. But speaking of which, Star Wars.
Sorry.
Are you excited about Star Wars?
Yes, I've got tickets to go see the
Wait, you pre-ordered tickets for Star Wars?
Well, I didn't. My friend did. He was basically like, "Hey, do you want to come along? We'll dress up." And I was like, "I'm always down for dressing up." So
he went in early. That's like 2 months ahead, isn't it?
Well, like, I'm going to go see it in Sheffield, and Sheffield is generally a pretty big city.
Okay.
So you need to get there fast, otherwise you'll never get in. At least I think we're going to Sheffield. I should probably check this out at some point.
You end up going to his house.
Oh god, I don't fucking know.
It's like literally some pirated cam view he found online.
Yeah.
It's all like grainy and shit, and you have to eat microwave popcorn. And
No, I have no idea where we're going. But we're going to go see it when it comes out. In fancy dress.
Why do you think Luke Skywalker hasn't been in any of the trailers?
Because he's the bad guy.
Do you really think so? Is he
Kylo
Kylo Ren?
Father like son.
Is he Kylo Ren?
Yes. No question about it.
That would be the worst. That would be the worst twist ever. Oh my god.
You heard it here first.
He's like, instead of "I am your father," he's like, "I am your uncle on your mother's side. Luke. Uncle Luke. Luke Skywalker." God.
Oh god.
That would just be the worst.
It's gonna be really weird though, because Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, they both look quite similar to how they did in the movies. Like, Mark Hamill, he's changed a lot.
Yeah. Well, Mark Hamill can wear a mask though. He could go with the whole robot thing.
Yeah, but you can't wear a body mask.
No, you just wear like
he's expanded quite a bit.
Oh, he's fat? Is that what you're saying?
I picture him as looking like this guy I've got on my Facebook who's like 10 times fatter than him, but I wouldn't say he's like super fat. He's just a lot. Yeah, okay. He looks a lot different.
Hey, you don't need to be fit to use the Force. I mean, imagine if you had Force powers. Like, if I had Force powers, I would probably balloon up to his size too, because I would just be like sitting in my chair, just Force powering, like,
beers from the fridge.
Exactly. Like pizza pockets to my mouth and shit. Using the Force to open a bag of chips and throw that shit down. How can you blame Luke for
Maybe
getting
it's
that way?
the trauma of like having to kill his dad. Well, he didn't kill his dad. Emperor Palpatine did.
I like my idea where the Force makes you lazy.
Yeah. Well, he's been doing voice acting for so long. Like, he hasn't had an on-screen role for...
No, are we talking about Mark Hamill or...
Both, I think.
No, because if we're talking about Mark Hamill, that's just natural. Old people just gain weight easier.
Harrison Ford didn't.
Yeah, Harrison Ford, though, he looks really, really old, too. They're talking about putting him in Indy, and and the next Indiana Jones movie, I'm like, dude...
They should just let Indiana Jones die.
Just let Chris Pratt or somebody else do it.
Have you not seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? How did that make any money? It was shit.
They'll never let it die, because it's a popular
aliens.
franchise.
Aliens. In an Indiana Jones film.
No, see, like, I'm not against letting older actors, because Lord knows there's way too many, like, there's a lot of, especially against women, there's a lot of discrimination far as age. But when we're talking about an action movie, we're talking about, like, a movie where you need to, like, jump off a car and, like, land on a motorcycle or something like that. I don't know, swing through trees like Shia LaBeouf. And you're not going to be able to do that when you're Harrison Ford's age. It's just, I don't know.
Running for your life from Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, and I guess the same argument could be made for Luke Skywalker having to be fit, because Jedis are always like fighting people and like, doing kung fu shit.
Yeah.
And it's not like the old Obi-Wan was Mr. Universe or anything like that, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry.
He does look a lot different though than what he did in the original. Like, he's definitely the actor who's changed the most.
You're just conditioned to seeing in that TV world or that movie world, everybody's just ridiculously good looking.
Like me.
Yeah, you're just conditioned to that. You're like, oh, wow. If you see a normal person, you're like, whoa.
This is weird.
Yeah. But they have no choice because they can't just replace Mark Hamill.
No, they can't. And I'm glad that they brought him back. I'm glad that they brought him back when, like, it shows a difference in respect to the series when you consider that Stephen Moffat didn't bring any of the original Doctors back, apart from the 4th Doctor for maybe a 2-minute cameo in the 50th anniversary. Fuck you, Stephen Moffat.
God, you're just like tearing this guy a new asshole. Man.
God!
You really hate Stephen Moffat.
Maybe you should learn how to write.
Are you excited at all for Fallout 4?
I can't get it.
Why
Because
not?
my laptop is from 2012, and my laptop will not run Fallout. It won't.
I'm sure it'll be
won't.
fine on the lowest settings.
I'm not playing a game on the lowest settings. I have too much pride for that. Like,
Yeah, I have to play on day
you
one.
do.
Yeah.
You've got to figure out how to make mods with voice acting with a voice active protagonist. That's gonna be fun.
No, it's not. I mean, the thing is that most of the dialogue is probably not going to be. It's going to be ill-suited to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only use generic questions, basically, generic responses. It's almost going to be like Phantom Pain, where you have one character doing all this exposition, doing all the talking, and then basically the other guy just silently nods his head, and then music plays, and then it's going to be. I think the majority of mods, through no fault of their own, they're just going to be really, really weird and tone deaf in terms of just the responses.
It's gonna be naked mods and shitty armor mods. That's all it's gonna be.
Yeah. I am going to do my best to, because it does look like all the followers and NPCs are going to be super attractive. Like, well,
are they
especially
taking a
after the
leaf
mods
out of
come out.
BioWare's book?
No, after the mods come out, especially,
Yeah.
because all the mods are going to be super hot bimbos. So
Yeah.
what we're going to have to do is put in some normal looking people again.
Or some really ugly fuckers.
Yeah. I don't want to say that, but you know, it's true.
Yeah.
We're gonna uglify the game.
Yes. Instead of all like the beautification mods and stuff.
Yeah, you can keep your fucking supermodels. I'll be over here with Mark Hamill, force choking death claws. Yeah, Halloween's coming up. Are you excited about that at least?
Yeah, I'm going out.
Oh yeah, what are you gonna be dressed as?
I'm going as Melisandre because what's scarier than a child killer?
Oh god, yeah, that's true.
I've got a wig. I've got. Well, I wanted an excuse to buy a new red dress, so I bought a new red dress. Got a big wig that I got paid £3 for, which is pretty good. I've got like a shawl that I can wear as a hood, and I've got like a big chunky like ruby necklace and stuff, and I'm really excited.
Do you have someone to be Stannis?
No, I don't, because we're just going out as an all-girls group, but I'm hoping to find Jon Snow.
You could find a Shireen.
I'm not. No one's gonna dress up as Shireen for her birthday, for Halloween.
But it would be the perfect, because when you see Melisandre, you don't. The first thought isn't scary. You're just thinking, oh, like she's hot.
Yeah.
But if you have the kid next to you, then it's like, oh.
Yeah,
like,
I
stay
was
away
tempted
from her.
to like get a little Barbie doll and like build a pyre around it, but that'd be too much hassle to carry around a club.
No, bring a Barbie doll. Have a Barbie doll in one hand and a lighter in the other. just put the lighter under her feet and then make a threatening face.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't even do it threateningly. She just like looks hot while she does it.
Yeah, that's true. You need a Stannis.
Yeah.
It's always good to
Stannis
have
Stannis.
like pairs when you do these outfits.
Yeah. I don't have anyone to pair up with though
That
for like
sucks.
group costumes because nobody wants to. I did go as a barbarian with someone in first year, but I basically made the costume and she took the scraps and wrapped them around herself because she didn't have a costume. So I was like, right, we're a pair now. And I did my makeup all scary and barbarian-y and she looked hot. So, you know.
Yeah. Halloween is kind of, it's less about being scary now as it is being funny or hot.
Yeah. I can remember seeing a lot of Breaking Bad costumes, not last year, but the year before.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Doc Brown, Marty McFly this year
Yeah.
just because it's 2015. Or maybe you'll see a David Cameron and a pig.
Yes! Yes!
And they could dry hump each other.
And I can burn him.
Yeah. I think if I was,
I've been put on a watch list.
yeah, I think if I was gonna, like, you could also do topical stuff, like you know, that Muslim kid with the alarm clock.
That'd be really iffy to do.
And then next to him, you could have Richard Dawkins angrily tweeting at him. You're a fraud.
That'd be so iffy to do. That'd be so bad.
You could have him, like, follow him around. And it'd take a while to register, but then once you got it, it'd be funny. Like why
I think that'd be more, like, relevant over in America than it is over
Yeah.
here. Here we've got Piggate to
Oh,
keep us
okay.
entertained.
There's gonna be a lot of skull faces, too.
Uh,
Yeah, I think
Not
so.
not like, are we talking MGS5 skull face, or...
Is there any other skull face?
No one's gonna dress up as Skullface. There'll be people with skulls on their faces, but
I
I don't
see.
think there'll be Skullface.
I think there's gonna be some Bill Cosbys, too, with a drink in their hand.
Oh god.
And Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump, I can see there's gonna be a lot of Donald Trumps.
And probably Undertale
Yes!
cosplay. You think?
Yes! Yes! Oh my god, guys! This game!
It's great,
It
isn't
is so good. Like, I tweeted about it, and my lecturer favorited it. That's how popular it's become. My lecturer tweeted about it.
What, is your lecturer, like, old and doesn't play video games, or what?
He's not old, no. He's just, like, my lecturer.
He's just the uncoolest
Who-
person ever.
Yeah. No, he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool.
Okay,
I'm
so
probably
then
going to
what's-
post this
what's
to
the
my Twitter
surprise?
later, so I can't, like...
Oh, now I get it. He's great, yeah.
He's the best.
Give me an A, please.
Yeah, please. We don't do A's here.
Oh.
But yeah, he's a cool guy. But you just don't expect academics to be favoriting your tweets on fucking video games, of all things.
Although, technically, like, if he's, like, I'm old, so technically...
Well, anyone's old compared to
Right,
me.
but like older people in general, I think will enjoy this game just because it has a lot of mechanics that are from the 80s and 90s in terms of like games.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of comparisons to Earthbound.
Right, and Mother
with
3.
it. Especially, especially with the sense of humor and everything. So I've seen a lot of comparisons to that.
Yeah, and I
yeah.
think the music is kind of, it reminds me of like Chrono Trigger and games like that. That
the soundtrack is
yeah,
so good.
that I played in my youth, because I'm old and crotchety.
Back when I was a lad. Back in my day.
Back in my day, we only had 10 frames per second. You need a crank to start the system.
Back in my day, we had a paper and pen and we had to make do. We did our own voice acting.
Yeah, I'm not that old. I never got into paper and pen stuff. I was a Nintendo kid. So.
I've done a lot of
But anyways.
Yeah, we'll return to this tangent in a little bit because we're talking about Undertale now, so we have to stay on topic.
Right.
I've made a
Right.
whole sheet of notes of reactions from my playthrough. It's basically the first thing I wrote at the top was Undertale is meta and as creepy as fuck. That was my initial response.
There's a lot of humor. The humor is great, and a lot of it.
It is so funny.
Yeah, at the very beginning, you meet Toriel, and then she suddenly just out of nowhere gives you a cell phone. So it's very modern and internet-esque, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like things that you would associate with humor that you'd find on a message board nowadays.
Yeah. Like, the thing is that even though it's an amazingly funny game, like, it still manages to get this balance between humour and naivety and innocence and a sort of, there's this undercurrent of creepiness no matter where you are in the game that always puts you a little bit on edge. Like, towards the end, you have a meeting with, like, if you're doing the neutral or pacifist run, you have a meeting with one of the characters who you've met a couple of times previously, and you're talking to him or her, and
Yeah, that's left ambiguous.
and they say, basically say, "Oh, I would have killed you if it wasn't for this, this, and this."
Right.
And there's this tiny change in the sprite, like literally 4 or 5 pixels, and it's terrifying. Like, I remember seeing it, and I was like, "Oh my, what? Oh!" It was terrifying.
Yeah, I'm always surprised at how well it transitions from one emotion to another, and yet still manages to keep that air of innocence about it.
It's kind of done through the eyes of a child, which is appropriate considering you're playing as a child.
Mm-hmm. And I think another thing the game does well is translate those emotions into the combat.
The combat is incredible.
It reminds me a lot of like arcade shooters and stuff like that.
Yeah, bullet hell games and things.
Yeah, and even as it keeps the action, it still frames in a way that is consistent with the tenor of the rest of the game. Like one of the attacks is like literally like the word bark coming at you from a dog, and it's just and the way it sort of melds humor, ingenuity, and just fun out of like these very old mechanics is kind of like what really takes the game to another level. Because there's games that have great story and great music, but they're like really boring in terms of like turn-based RPG combat. And this one's really innovative in that it makes the game fun to play, even if you're just like slogging through.
And every enemy has a different battle pattern and different attacks that they use. And the damage that they do is completely determined by you. It's not like a random dice roll of attacks and stats and things. No, you can get through the game without wearing any armor and without having a weapon or anything, and you can still survive because like your success isn't based on arbitrary dice rolls.
Right, and the point of the game is more or less, if you play at least the pacifist run, is that nobody has to die, which is also kind of a pretty unique foundation for the game, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's why it was so popular on Kickstarter, because it was something different.
Right. And it's still a violent game. Like, there's still people trying to kill you.
Holy shit, the genocide path.
Yeah. And
I don't play it. I don't want to play it. I feel terrible
Yeah.
playing it.
Like, how could you kill Toriel at the beginning? That's just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Well, I did. And then I reset the game and I restarted because I couldn't figure out how to not kill her. So I restarted, and then Flowey, the flower that you meet at the beginning, he was basically like, I bet you felt really bad for doing that. You've reset the game, but I remember. And I was like, shit. This fucking flower.
It is crazy how the game remembers a lot, and they'll like call you if you put on a 2-2, or it does a very good job of flagging things.
Yeah.
And going back to the whole flowy thing, I think a lot of people did end up killing the characters because it's almost unrealistic, I think, to not fight back, like to wear people down with your overbearing kindness.
It's not realistic, but the game frames humans as being the aggressors, and the monsters as being like just acting out of self-defense.
Right. So if you take it in that context, it makes perfect sense.
And when they realise that, hey, you're not actually trying to kill me, that's when the monsters step down.
Exactly. The other thing I like is the style. The style fits the humor perfectly. Like the kid's face is absolutely perfect. It's just the three
like, what
lines.
The fuck? It just does not give a shit.
The fact that like the creator basically put like little bits of humor and just everything. You could click on almost everything in the world.
You can go to this wrong bit in the game, this bit in the game, just walking into this random area, and your phone starts ringing, and it's like, hey, is anyone there? And it's like, you've got the wrong number. And then they start the wrong number song, which is amazing. There's also a dating sim for skeletons and fish monsters in the game. So if you like dating sims, go there. Like, I think it's better than Hassle Boyfriend for dating sims.
And that's...
And they have lesbian monsters, which is great.
Undine
and Alstis.
I like how you feel the need to Britishize my words. I'm like Undine, you're like Undine.
Yeah.
Clara Oswald.
Oswald. I think my favourite, like, bit was, probably, the Robotio and Juliet with Metaton. where Metaton sings a song for you. And it's
Mettaton is
basically,
awesome.
you're going to die right
Yeah.
here, and I will be sad because you are my beloved.
Yeah, everything with Mettaton is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Metaton is really hot. You might not think it at first, but look again, and he's kind of hot.
Look under that hard
Metal shell.
vending machine exterior. So on a rating Game of Thrones characters, what do you give this game?
I'm going to give this the highest honor I can give a game. Because...
Oh, are we going to pick the same person?
I don't know.
This could be a first.
I don't know. I'm going to give it a Sansa Stark. Because I love Sansa, and I love this game. Sansa Stark is my favourite character. This game is probably one of my favourite games, tentatively, of recent years. But also the tone of the game. It wants you to be passive. It doesn't want you to be passive. It wants you to be pacifist, and it wants you to figure things out, like how Sansa is encouraged to figure things out for herself and find her own strength and make friends and allies and stuff, instead of just going all Arya and attacking everyone.
Okay, that's a good answer. This is why you're wrong. The correct answer is Tyrion. Lannister.
Oh.
Because it's funny. It's visually, like, you know, it's graphically not that impressive, but it's still handsome in its own way. It's charming, and at the same time, it's kind of emotional and kind.
I get where
Tyrion
you're
is.
coming from.
It's very close because you picked Tyrion's wife.
Yeah.
So
Are they even married anymore on Game of Thrones? Or
I
is
don't
she
think
actually
so.
married to Ramsay? I don't want to think about that again. But yeah,
I think that marriage has been annulled, more or less, to both of them.
I love this game so much that I've already done fan art of it, and it's on Tumblr.
I think it's going to be the game of the year.
It'll
it's
definitely
my
get an
game of the
indie
year.
game award. I don't think it'll get Game of the Year though, because obviously it's up against Witcher, Fallout 4,
Fallout 4.
MGS5, but I don't think MGS5 is.
I think it's going to be better than Fallout 4.
To be honest.
I think a lot of it has to do with timing. If everyone was making these kind of old school RPGs like this, it'd be different. But everybody's making those AAA games. Like the ones it's up against are very similar in a way. They have similar mechanics, similar graphics.
This year is the year of the open world.
Right. And here we have a world that's not open. It's very, traditional. It's very different in how it handles like the action and the combat.
It's traditional yet subversive.
Exactly. So I think a lot of it has to do with timing
Yeah.
for me. So that's why I would say it's a game of the year, even before Fallout
Yeah.
even comes out.
Also,
Yeah.
remember guys, you have to be determined.
Oh yeah, better determined than experienced. At least in this game.
All right, so that's it for this month's episode. Nothing else you want to talk about?
Happy Halloween! Woo!
All right,
Woo.
bye.
I always envy guys because they can take really quick pees. Like, there's no hassle to it.
Yeah, but that was more of a precautionary piss. As opposed to, I have to go bad now and it's gonna take me a long time to empty my bladder piss.
Yeah.
Anyways, Undertale.